All right, well, thanks again to your chapter so much for hosting us this morning to go over some of the benefits of your GPA membership and how to access them, as well as volunteer and professional development opportunities with GPA that can expose you to quality programming and hopefully assist you in advancing your career. We have a lot to share with you, and we'd be happy to take your questions in the chat box, and we'll be sure to stop for questions along the way as well. But first, what I want you to know is that I am actually joined today by my deemed colleagues, Boggs and Kelly Romero. And many of you already know, Barb is our Event and Volunteer Relations Manager, and Kelly is our Membership and Marketing Director. And that's me, of course, over on the right. So I'm very excited that they were able to make the time to join us today so that they can share their expertise and answer the questions that I cannot. So you'll be hearing from them a little bit later on certain sections. Who are we? GPA is a nonprofit membership association that builds and supports a community of grant professionals that are committed to serving the greater public good by practicing the highest ethical and professional standards. We do this in alignment with our affiliates, which is the Grant Professionals Certification Institute and the Grant Professionals Foundation. So together we all work towards advancing the profession, certifying the professionals, and funding that professionalism. We do that through the professional development offerings here at GPA, such as webinars, the journal, and the annual conference, as well as the work that your chapter does there with your meeting presenters and your regional conference, which is coming up next month, as a matter of fact. The Certification Institute oversees the GPC credential, and the foundation provides a lot of scholarships for GPA memberships as well as for annual conference attendance. So more information about that can be found on their website. I'm not going to go deeply into that today. So grantcredential.org and grantprofessionalsfoundation.org are their websites. So here's a partial list of the benefits that you receive as a member, and we're going to go into some more detail on some of these and how to access them here on future slides. So we've got Grant Zone, the Consultants Directory, your chapter, of course, publications and professional development opportunities, of course, networking opportunities, the Job Center and vendor discounts, and the mentoring program. So you may already know about a lot or all of these, and we hope that you do, but if you don't happen to know of them all, then maybe we can share some new information with you as to how you can engage in those benefits. So here's a quick list of some vendor discounts, which is one of our benefits that you may already be taking advantage of. Things like software discounts, training discounts, other publications, office tools, things of that nature. So you might be wondering how to access those. So the way you can get more detailed information about the benefits is to log into the GPA website, which is grantprofessionals.org. And then in the upper right, log in with your username and password, and just let us know if you have forgotten yours. We can help you get it back. Once you log in, there's a members only link that appears in the upper right corner here of the toolbar that was not there before. It's a pretty subtle change, so you might not notice it unless you're looking for it. But if you click there, you will then see you have some access to some information on the left. I'm not sure how big this is showing up on your screen there in person. But if you click this top one, it says Benefits Access, it will open up some additional menus. So you can dive deeper into the offerings that are listed there, such as the software discounts, the training discounts, and all those other things that I mentioned previously. So again, I don't know if you can see that or not, but all of them are listed there under Benefits Access, and you can click on them and drill down for more information. And also links that might take you directly to that benefits website. One benefit that can be especially helpful for our members who are consultants is the ability to be featured in the directory on the GPA website. And this is the location where we tend to direct inquiries that come into headquarters. So if you are a consultant and are looking for business, you definitely want to make sure you're listed there. Sometimes when people join, they think they're automatically put into this directory if they indicate that they happen to be a consultant, but it's very important to know that you do need to opt in order to be featured. So to do this, while you're logged into your account, you'll go to My Directory Options and then Enable Consultants Directory, which will open up additional fields from your profile that you can fill in. And then when you save it, it'll start appearing in the directory, and it'll look like this. This is two separate screenshots. So the top one is where you'll find the My Directory Options link when you're logged into your profile. And once you click that, you'll see what's on the bottom. That's actually just the bottom portion of the bottom. You have to scroll all the way down. There's a tiny box to click that says Enable Consultant Directory. And once you click that box, you can't see it here, but that's when all the other fields will open up so you can populate them and then save your changes. Any questions about that or anything else that we've shared thus far? I'm just not sure how familiar everybody is with everything already, so I want to make sure we have plenty of time to answer your questions. So far in the chat, I'm not seeing any, but feel free to unmute yourself if you do have one. Okay. One of our newer benefits is the ability to connect and share with all GPA members in the Grantham online community. We've been pretty excited about how well this has taken off. And there are a couple different ways that you can access this. I'll just show you one today, which is, again, under your same profile. There's a link that says Grantham Community. And if you click on that, it'll take you into Grantham, where you have a variety of different options of things to do next. Once you're in there, you can search all the communities and check out the different special interest groups, for example. You can check out volunteer opportunities and the mentoring program. We're going to get to that in more detail in a second. But if you click on My Communities, it'll open a page that will list, I don't have a shot of it here, but it'll list the different communities you are a member of, such as your chapters group, the Georgia chapter, the open forum, which everyone is a member of, and that's how you can interact with other GPA members, and any SIGs or other groups that you may have joined. So let's say you clicked on the Georgia chapter and it opened up. This is what it would look like if you haven't already seen it. So once you're logged into there, you'll see that you have options to participate in discussions, contribute to and download items into the library, and contact other members directly. You can even control your own settings to determine how often you get notifications of activity in your communities. And group leaders can also post announcements over here on the right-hand side as well. So this group for your chapter or for any group can be a pretty powerful tool to keep in touch between meetings, share information, archive your chapter data or any meeting data, and directly contact people in case you happen to lose their email address or something like that. Any particular questions about Grant Zone? I know we didn't dig deep into that, and Barb's going to show us some other stuff in there about mentoring later, but hopefully everybody's been in there and seen it at least. If not, I highly recommend you jump in there, check it out, contribute to some discussions, or maybe you're just lurking and reading all the discussion, which is fine. I think there's a lot of great information shared in there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, this is Jane over at the Atlanta Food Bank, and I was wondering if you're an administrator of the Georgia chapter, if there's a way to see how many people are actually clicking on the messages, because a lot of times people don't comment, but it would be worthwhile to know if people are even interacting.
I don't know if we have particular data on clicks within a group. I do know we can access certain analytics, and administrators of your group include myself and your chapter officers. And I know that one of the features that you can do as an administrator is mass email all the members of your group through Grantham. But that's a great question about the clicking. I'll have to get with Kelly on that and see if we can dive deeper into the analytics and find out. So you're just curious as to whether or not people are viewing what you've posted?
Right. I mean, you know, thinking in the future if I ever become a leader, and just want to see if I'm sending out messages, if people are actually even reading them, I think would be valuable to know.
This is Kelly. I think that we can, I know that we can via the grant zone as a whole, and I'm pretty sure that we can do like click-through rates or open rates of daily digests for those who opt in for the Georgia Chapter Daily Digest, and maybe some stats on your actual, when people are in the Georgia Chapter Grant Zone community. I think we could pull some stats up that way. I'll work on it today, see what we can find out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. I knew you'd have the answer. Any other questions? About anything we've shared thus far, benefits, how to access them, Grant Zone. Like I said, hopefully everybody's using Grant Zone. We've seen a lot of great interaction in the open forum, since that's where everyone has access to everybody else. And then these smaller groups for SIGs and chapters have been useful and helpful to have those smaller group conversations in sharing. Some are more active than others, so if you're looking to get involved and engaged in Grant Zone, we definitely recommend checking them out. You can see how many members. I don't know if you can tell on this slide and my highlighting that covered it up because it's kind of a light gray color, but you can see, for example, the Georgia chapter has 83 members, excuse me, 4 library entries and 37 different discussions and a couple different announcements. So anyway, different chapters and different SIGs utilize their Grant Zone group differently. Some are more active than others. But I think there's some great conversation happening in a lot of these communities, and it's really helping people stay connected throughout the year, and not just once a year at the annual conference, for example, or just between your chapter meetings. So it's been a fun tool, and we hope you enjoy it too.
Shelley, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
When I first signed up for, this is Megan, when I first signed up for Grant Zone, I was getting a bunch of emails, and it was getting a little overwhelming, and I had to work with you guys to adjust my settings for that. Can you just quickly go over what we need to do to adjust settings if needed so that we aren't overwhelmed and able to use it at our own capacity?
Yeah, so what I have pulled up here is not a live shot, so I can't click it. But when you are in, and Kelly can correct me if I'm wrong, when you are in Grant Zone and you actually go to your own profile in Grant Zone, there is a spot to click for your settings. This settings that you see here is for the actual chapter group, but there's a settings group, settings link for yourself, for your profile. And it will pull up all of the groups that you're a member of, and then you can change and adapt all the options for the different groups as to how you receive your digest, whether it's daily or weekly, summary, or real time. So especially if you are, like you might be, Megan, a member of, 4 or 5 different groups, and, open forum is a pretty big one that everybody is in anyway, so you may, like you said, want to control the amount of messaging you're getting. You can absolutely do that in there. And maybe later, when we've gone through all the material, if you'd like, we can go live into the website and pull it up and show some folks and click around. So hopefully you all are, jotting down your questions, and if we don't happen to cover them in all the following slides, we can circle back at the end and absolutely answer any of y'all's questions. We're happy to show you, make sure you're comfortable using all these things, because these are your benefits. We want you to feel like you're getting the most out of them that you want. So does that help?
Yep, thank you.
You bet.
I just wanted people to not feel like they had to shut it off completely if there were certain things that interest them. There are ways to kind of filter some of that if you were feeling overwhelmed.
Right, absolutely. That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. Some people like getting pinged constantly with updates on particular topics that might be really timely for them. Others would rather not have all that mess in their inbox and just manually log in once a week to kind of check stuff out. Totally up to you. So yeah, we want it to be as customizable as it can be for you. So yeah, good question. And at any time, even after today, after this presentation, if you have questions, please feel free to just reach out to us. We're happy to help. We do it all day long, so don't hesitate. Okay. All right. So as many of you know, one of our more popular benefits is the annual conference. We look forward to it every year. I'm going to let Barb actually tell you some more about the conference, some of the following slides, as well as after that, she's going to share some information about the different committees and task forces we have at GPA. And she's actually going to take us live into Grant Zone to talk specifically about the mentoring program as well. So whenever Barb is ready, I appreciate you taking it away.
Hey everybody, happy to be here today with you. Very excited about our annual conference this year. It is the best place to get best practices for grant management as well as grant proposal development. We do break down our workshops by skill tracks as well as professional levels. So we have some at the beginning level, kind of intermediate, and then this year we're calling them our master level instead of advanced. And this is a great place. If you've never been, this is a great place for you to go and network with other grant professionals from throughout the world. Most of them come from here within the United States, so we always do have a few international attendees as well. This year we expect to have 800 attendees for the conference. It is the premier event for grant professionals. We hear time and time again that this is the place where we meet. This is where I met my people. As we know, most of you are the single person, or there's one or two of you who this is your job within your organization. So when you come together, there's 800 people just like you at this event. It's held in either October or November every fall. Normally the first week of November. Is typically when it falls, and this year it is November 7th through the 10th in Chicago. It is our 20th anniversary of the conference, so we are very excited about that. We are working on some big plans to celebrate 20 years. Everything is still kind of in the works, so not going to give any sneak peeks on that yet, but more to come soon. The reason we are back in Chicago this year is because that is where the first conference was held. So going back to our roots to begin with for 20 years. We are at the Swiss Hotel, which is downtown near Millennium Park. For those of you who are probably wondering or are going to ask, our hotel room rate this year is $249 a night, which is a little bit higher than it has been the last couple of years. But we are in Chicago and we are downtown. And on the bright side, because we are in Chicago, it's easy airlift in and out, so your airfare should be pretty cheap to be able to come in and join us. Registration will open on May 1st, and our preliminary workshop schedule will also be released on May 1st for you guys. And then as well as that is when the room block to reserve your rooms will also open that day. Our early bird fee, which will be good through July 31st, is $525 for a member and $740 for a non-member. And for those non-members, that includes a 1-year membership to GPA. After that, our rate goes up to $655, so you're definitely going to want to take advantage of that early bird rate. And there will be more information still coming out. Everything is still very vague right now as we're pretty early in planning, but keep your eye on our website, grantprofessionals.org/conference, for more information, and it'll be coming out soon for you. If you have any questions about that, please go ahead and unmute your lines or type it in the chat box. I'm happy to answer any questions, or we can cover some of it at the end of the webinar as well.
Bart, what did you say the early bird deadline was again?
July 31st.
Okay, thanks. And everything is listed on our website, right, at grantprofessionals.org/conference?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Great.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to committees. So with the GPA, I also am the volunteer relations manager, which basically means that I help organize all of our volunteers. And we have several different committees as well as task forces that we are always looking for more people to serve on. We primarily do our call at the end of the year because we start obviously planning our year January 1 of what's going to happen for that year and run through it. So we do our call in November and December with getting organized for the year in January and February. So a couple of the committees that you could serve on, shown here on the screen, are our bylaws committee, which is a standing committee. It's constantly there, and that committee just reviews our bylaws and proposes any changes and presents them to the board as needed as times change and everything like that. Our chapter advisory committee provides advice to our CEO and chapter relations manager on things about the chapters. We do ask that you are a chapter member, preferably a chapter leader, in order to serve on that committee. And Shelley works very closely with that committee. We also have our ethics committee, who is the committee who maintains our GPA code of ethics, makes changes as needed to that, and then also if we have any violations that are reported, they are the people who also review all of those violations along with our CEO, Mike Chamberlain. We have a new committee this year. It's our Governmental Advocacy Committee. This committee rose out of a governmental advocacy task force that we've had for the last couple of years, along with our new strategic plan that was just developed last year and we are in the first year of. And this committee is exploring the advocacy needs of GPA. Mike Chamberlain is our staff person who is in charge of that committee. So if you have more information or want more information on that, he would be the one to find out more about that from. The Finance Committee is another standing committee of GPAs, and that committee just reviews our financial performance, oversees the audit process, as well as our budget process. That committee is one of our more active committees. They meet monthly with our accountant and with our CEO, as well as the board treasurer, just to go over the monthly finances and how things are going. It's more of an informative committee, just keeping everybody informed, but also helps us make the best financial decisions possible for the health of GPA. The Long Range Planning Committee is another standing committee for GPA, and they are the ones who are responsible for the development and update of the strategic plan. The current Long Range Planning Committee just developed our strategic plan for 2018, 19, and 20, and they will continue to monitor how that plan is being going along, and as needed, we'll make updates to it. Our Nominating Committee is the committee responsible for developing the procedures and processes for recruiting our board of directors. Next one. Professional Growth and Development. This committee oversees all of GPA's educational curriculum, including the sessions for the annual conference as well as our webinars. And then it also oversees our approved trainer program. This committee is a rather large committee, but we break it down so if you are interested in serving in some capacity within the educational curriculum, we have different subcommittees that actually work together on that. As part of my role as event coordinator or event manager for GPA, I am the staff person in charge of that committee. So if you're interested in learning more, just let me know. And then our last standing committee is our Publications Committee, and they're the committee that does all of GPA's publications, and that includes GPA's weekly news, our GPA journal, as well as our strategy papers. And then GPA also has several task forces. So the difference between our committees and task forces are our task forces serve a specific purpose and only for a specific amount of time. So right now we currently have 4 task forces, the newest one being our Grant Professionals Hall of Fame Task Force, and we are in the process of developing a GPA Hall of Fame. That is in the very early stages still, so don't have a lot of information to share on that, but a way to recognize members of GPA as well as GPCI and the foundation for helping advance the grant profession. Our mentoring task force is the task force that helps develop our new mentoring program that I will be showing here in just a few minutes. They are continuing to work just to make sure that the program is successful and continues to move forward. But once we have it completely developed and feel like it's in a good need, then that task force will no longer be needed. We have our Pioneer Award Task Force, and this is the task force that works specifically just to solicit nominees and select the recipients of our Grantmaker Pioneer Award. And then finally, we also have our Social Media Task Force, and they're the people who help us implement all of our social media components across all of our communication strategies on that. So if you're interested in volunteering on any of our committees or task forces or have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, most of the time we do our call for volunteers in the fall of the year, but be on the lookout in both Grant News Weekly as well as in Grant Zone. When there's a need to solicit more volunteers, we also put it in there for that, because sometimes it is a short-term need and not a long-term commitment like some of the other stuff is on that. All right. If there's no questions on that, or if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and give you guys kind of a live look at our mentoring program. So the mentor program just launched officially last August, so we're still very much in the infancy stage of the program. But let me go ahead and log into Grant Zone and show you how you will access the program. Give me a second to share my screen. All right. Did you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
All right, so right now, thank you. I am currently logged into Grant Zone. Grant Zone is where you will actually access the mentoring program to sign up to be a mentor or a mentee, as well as to make your match within the program. So if you look here on the menu bar, the last one there is mentoring, which is drop down. There's an option to enroll as a mentor or enroll as a mentee. You can do either or. So if you have the experience and you want to mentor people, awesome. We would love to have you. We're always looking for more mentors. But say you are, you've been in the grant field for a long time, but you've always done foundation grants. Now you're writing more government grants. You can also enroll as a mentee so that you can find somebody who would be able to assist you with that part of it. I'm going to go ahead and click on the frequently asked questions. See if it pulls up here for me. This page here just gives you kind of the overall question that we get asked all the time. Is there a fee associated with the mentor match? There is not. It's one of our benefits for you and is only available to our mentors. You do need to be enrolled as a mentor or mentee in order to match yourself. And then if specific questions for our mentors are listed here, and then as we scroll on down, there's more for our mentees. If you look at these and you still have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're very happy to answer them for you. So I'm going to click on Enroll as a Mentor just so you can see what some of the questions are. So we ask that in addition to your profile that's already within Grant Zone, this is an additional profile. So you have your member profile, and then you have your mentee mentor profile. So I've already completed this, and the questions are very basic. Are you GPC? I am not. How long have you been in grant-related work? And the nice thing is, as you're working through these, you do not have to answer a question. So like, are you a CFRE? I can add the answer yes or no, but I also don't have to. I can leave it blank. I don't have to specify it if I don't want to on that. We do ask that you give us your mentoring communication preference. Some people want to have those face-to-face meetings, where other people are okay with just having it via phone call or doing like a video or Skype call or something like that. So as you're working through, there's several questions you're just going to answer, including when you would like to start your mentor status. And you can also give an end date, which means basically, you know I have the next 6 months to dedicate to being a mentor. I'm not going to accept any more mentees after that. So you can put that in there. You can also create your profile, and then you can decide if you don't want to be participating. Mine was set to yes, because I obviously am not going to be a good mentor. I was just practicing in the system. And then the maximum number of mentees you would be willing to accept. We have it set so you can have up to 5. But that's up to you. If you only want to have 1 mentor at a time, great, absolutely. But if you think you can handle having more than 1, put that in there. And you guys probably can't see this. This shows because I'm an administrator, but if we have issues with our mentor or mentee, we can ban you from participating in the program. So all you have to do after you've created your program or your profile is click Save, and your mentor profile is now going to show up. We ask those exact same questions to the mentees as everybody's working here. Give it a second for it to pull up here. So it should come up and just show you that your mentor enrollment was saved successfully. So the mentee stuff is going to look exactly the same. It's going to have the same questions listed. You're just going to add it in there. Again, you can set your start date for being a mentee and your end date as well. And then again, you guys will not be able to see this bottom part. It's just because only I can because I'm an administrator. So once you have set up your mentee and mentee profile, you can see them by clicking on mentor profile or mentee profile. And it shows right here your answers to your questions. So this profile is different from your regular profile. So if you click there, give it a second to update here. So this profile is just my regular profile that anybody on Grant Zone will have it. So it's my overall Grant Zone profile. But to see my other profile, there's the drop-down button there. So you can change your profile at any time just by going in and making those adjustments. Now, as a mentee, your job is the one to match with a mentor. The mentors don't match with you. The mentees match with the mentors. So there's 2 ways to find them. Under directory, there's mentoring directories, and then under mentoring, there's mentor directory. They're the exact same thing, just the way the system works, they are just named slightly different. So I'm going to click on that. give it a second to pull up here. I apologize, our internet is very slow. Okay, so looking for a mentor. You can, if you know a mentor specifically, you can choose to put their name and information in here. You can choose to, if you want to find somebody maybe local to your state, you can choose to put that in here. And you can select which options you're looking for. Say you want your mentor to have their GPD, or you want them to have their CFRE. You're going to click yes. If you do not care, yes or no, on these questions, leave it blank. By leaving it blank, none of these are required questions to fill out. So if you, by leaving it blank, you're going to get a bigger pool of mentors than if you tried to be more specific. So I'm not going to fill anything in so that we can pull up as many mentors as possible to show, to give you an example of what's in the system. So by leaving my options blank, I currently pulled up 20 mentors. So then what you can do as a mentee is click on each of these individuals and learn a little bit more about them and see if you think they would be a good match for you. If so, you're just going to send them a message through the system saying, hey, I'd love to match with you as a, I'd love to match with you or have you be my mentor, or however you want to word it. And they will actually be notified via email that you would like to match with them. And then they can then email you back in the system. So it will give you, I'm going to click on Colleen here just to pull her up. So it will give you the option then, once you have figured out if, you know, if that mentor relationship is going to work for you, there is an option once you're in there to accept the mentor-mentee relationship. And it will pull up after in your messages like it would on throughout Grant Zone itself. So you can go in here and see Colleen has all of her information about her mentor profile. So you can either just send her a message or you can send her, click here to send the mentor request right now on that. So that's just kind of a very quick overview. I don't want to take too much more of our time today. So if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end of our time today, or send me an email and I'm happy to answer that as well for you. So Shelley, I am going to stop sharing my screen for now and I'll let you take control back over.
Okay. Thank you, Barb. Any questions for the items that Barb covered?
Yes, we have a question.
Hi, this is Cynthia. I have a question for you. That was all very clear. Thank you. Are there expectations of once people are matched, what that mentoring relationship looks like? Does that mean, hey, we're going to have a weekly phone call, or we're going to email back and forth whenever I have a question? Are there expectations already set up that the mentors have been aware of as they're signing up, or is it just once it's matched, it's up to those two people to kind of figure out what it looks like?
Absolutely. We do ask that you plan to meet at least once a month. And once a month, that being either a phone call, video call, in person, whatever works for you. That way you have some sort of expectation that this is our match. So we're going to plan at least once a month to have a conversation. The mentors are the ones who should be making that initial reach out. After the match is made, the mentor should take the lead and set up those times. The people that have had the most successful matches so far, once they know that this is going to work, they go ahead and decide on a time for like the next 3 months that we're gonna have a conversation on the second Tuesday at 10 o'clock. You know, so it's on their calendars, and then that way they make it a priority. If you want to communicate more frequently, that is up to the two of you as a pair. Some people, it works just to shoot each other over emails every now and then as kind of check-ins, or hey, I had a question come up I'm not sure of. So whatever ends up working best for the pair after that initial at least once a month kind of relationship.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Barb? Okay, if not, we will keep moving on. And like I said, we'll still ask for more questions at the end as well. So next we're going to hear from Kelly. And she's going to tell us some more about the webinars, the publication opportunities, as well as the Job Center benefit too.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Romero, and I'm the Membership and Marketing Director for GPA. At this time, I host all of GPA's webinars, and what that basically is, we host at least one a month, depending on our schedules, and it's open to members and non-members to register for. The price for members to access a live or recorded webinar is free, so it's a great benefit for GPA members. If you view a lot of them, it basically covers your return on investment for your membership costs. For non-members to view a webinar is $30, and they would receive either access to a live webinar or they would receive the link to view the recorded webinars. So like I said, they are live and recorded, held once a month at least, and our presenters are handpicked by either staff here or our Professional Growth and Development Committee. And there are over 50 recorded webinars for you to choose from. We have different topics that you can go look on, and like I said, you do receive them for free, which is a great value of $2,100. So to view the webinars, what you would do is go to the GPA website and click on the Education tab, and then there's a sub-tab, if you can see the arrows on the left, that says Webinars. So you would click on that, or click on the banner that you'll see to Be the Best in Your Class to view those webinars. So if you want the upcoming webinars, you can usually click to, if you're on the home page, there's the calendar there that has all of the events on there, or you can click on the upcoming webinars link or a sub-tab, and it'll link back to the calendar. But the easiest way to view all of our upcoming webinars will be from the calendar on the home page of the GPA website. So if you click on the recorded webinars, it'll take you to the next one, where at the very bottom of your screen, you'll see recorded webinar topics. And those topics are budgets and grants management, consulting, evaluations, collaboration, federal grants, professional development and communication strategies, prospect research and donor relations, and then there's another field, which is like professional development, fundraising, self-help kind of stuff that are all in there. And then once you click on there, you will be able to register for each one. So, it'll show what the title is for each webinar, the description of it, who the presenter is, when it was recorded, and the GPC competencies that go along with each one, and then how many credits of either GPC or CFRE credits each one has. But if you click that register button or register link, it'll take you to a separate page. So make sure that you're logged in. I always prefer that you log in first before you go there. It's easier. But once you hit the register button and you're logged in, it'll take you to the registration page where you'll just click register, go through the little steps. It's still free, but you still have to go through and register for it. And that way, once you're registered, it will actually link to your account in our database and and when you're logged in under the members only in your account on the GPA website, you'll be able to see what you've registered for. So that way you can track it if you're wanting to do your CMP for your GPC, or if you need something else for CEUs, you can see what you've registered for and what you've attended. So once you do register for it, you'll get an automated email from our system, and it will say, you know, here is the link to view, and it's a YouTube video, and you'll be able to click that. It's a private link, or unlisted link, which means it's only shareable if you have the link. So we ask that you don't share it with any of your colleagues or anybody who's a non-member. Let them go on and register for that. It's a good source for non-dues revenue for GPA. So that's how you would register, and the same thing goes for the live webinars as well. You'll just do a register button and proceed through the steps, and we'll send you the live stuff. We do have a live webinar this week. It's on Thursday. If you're not registered for it, it's called Vetting for Success. So if you're not registered for it and you want to be, we have registration closed right now, but I can always add you in. We have room. So you can just shoot me over an email at kelly@grantprofessionals.org, and I can get you in there. It's this Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. And then let's go and talk about publications. So GPA has 3 different publications that, as a member of GPA, you receive for free. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central, you receive GPA's Grant News. And this is a weekly e-newsletter delivered to you. It has an article written by somebody in the grants profession that is reviewed. It also has GPA news, industry news, job postings, new member lists, and at the very bottom there is upcoming webinar that you could register for. So always keep an eye out on that. There's some good stuff happening in there with some timely information that Shelley will mention later. So always check out the Grant News. There is an annual journal that we have. It's written by top professionals from around the world. Like I said, it's an annual publication that comes out in the fall. It's a great benefit for members. It's a scholarly exam of the profession, and it has an extensive peer review process, but it's a great resource with some wonderful journal articles in there. You can view the publications if you go to the home page of the website and click on publications, and the journal, strategy papers, and Grant News is on there. They are, for the journal, they are, accepting manuscript proposals for 2019. 2018 is already full, but 2019, if you're interested in submitting a manuscript proposal for that, you can go on the website and find out how to do that and what's required. For the strategy papers, it is basically persuasive papers that encourage discussion among grant professionals. It's all experience levels and all the skill sets, and it is delivered annually along with the journal. It's inside the journal, but it's also, when we do have a journal article, we put it out in the Grant News as well. So you can see those from there. We should have one coming out soon, within the next month or two. And for strategy papers, we do have a proposal deadline going on right now. It is April 1st, so if you're interested in doing a concept proposal for the strategy paper, you can go on the website and view, what a strategy paper is and why publish and how do I publish a strategy paper, and we'll be able to help you write one of these articles or publications. So for contribution, if you do want to contribute, like I said, you can go to the website, or you can send an email to myself at kelly@grantprofessionals.org, and we'll get you set up. And another resource for our members is the Job Center. And the Job Center, so a lot of members don't know that you actually can, if your organization is hiring for a position, for a grant position, you can actually post it in the GPA Job Center for $99 for a 30-day job posting, which is a great price. And it goes out to the Job Center that we partner with. It distributes that job to Indeed and Monster and a lot of different job companies out there, job websites. And then it also goes in our grant news. So if you do post a job, we pull it out of an RSS feed and it goes into our grant news. So you're going to get a lot of promotion for that job for the $99. A non-member of GPA to post a 30-day job is $330. So it's a great benefit for our members. And so if you're looking to hire or anything, job seekers can also upload your resume and you can search for jobs on here. So that's a great tool for our members if you're wanting to transition into a different position. And so that's basically it on the Job Center. I do handle that, so if you do have questions, you can send them over to me. And it's pretty easy to use, and if I can't help you, their customer service with our vendor that we use is wonderful as well.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions over the information that Kelly covered before we move along? All right. I just really wanted to cover a little bit about chapters. Obviously, probably the majority of you on the call today are a part of the chapter, or hopefully will be soon, and already know a lot of these things. But we did just want to make sure, you know, that you knew from us to you that you all serve a very important role for GPA, because you are that local entity and the place where GPA members meet each other, other professionals, and obtain additional professional development beyond what we give you here from headquarters. So we really appreciate the work of the chapter. It's so important that the board saw fit to hire me as a full-time chapter relations manager. They also, you know, opt to provide free GPA memberships once a year for you to hand out. I think your guys' chapter tends to auction it off at your regional conference event. We support your event registration should you desire to use it, which includes free credit card processing, which saves our chapters a few bucks every year. We're providing training for your chapter leadership every spring and fall. And we implemented a performance reward program for recruitment and retention of chapter members, of which your chapter won second place this last year, so good for you guys. So just wanted to make sure that you knew how much we appreciate the work there that you do locally. They also funded the conference grant program. You have also received a regional conference grant from that program. And they instituted the regional representative program, or at least formalized it a couple of years ago. And if you're not familiar with the regional representative, hopefully you are, but your regional representative is Jody Pearl. She's actually out of Florida, but she covers your all's region. And what regional representatives do, if you aren't already aware, is they basically act as a liaison between me and you to make sure that you have all those resources that you need and desire to be successful. So they can share successful best practices from other chapters and kind of be that go-between, let you know where you can find and access the information that we put out for you specifically if you can't get in touch with me, for example. Helps me monitor your chapter activity and attendance and basically be that support system for the chapter officers. It is a voluntary position, and GPA does provide a budget to allow these folks to physically come out and visit your chapter at least once a year should you desire that, and to of course be available by phone and email for any questions that you may have. So hopefully you've had the pleasure of meeting Jody. If not, maybe you'll get to meet her soon. If you want to reach her, you can email her at region7rep@grantprofessionals.org, or of course feel free to get in touch with me as well. So we need to wrap this up so you guys can get on to your meeting, but I want to make sure you remember that if you happen to be speaking to any potential GPA members, or if you yourself happen to be a potential member and have not yet joined us here at GPA, you have until the end of the week to take advantage of our March membership drive for first-time members only by using the promo code 2018DRIVE and get a $25 discount to your membership. And this week is also the deadline to apply for the Spring Membership Scholarship that's provided by the Grant Professionals Foundation. So if you're interested in applying for that, you'll want to jump on the foundation website and check out their application. And also at the end of this week is the end of the chance to participate in the State of Grant Seeking survey. So please do check out your old emails, Grant News Weekly, the website for information on the State of Grant Seeking that is out there. And that is all we have today. So thank you for having us.